All right, all right, all right. Another episode, Chain Link Sports. We got a pretty interesting topic I want to talk about today. Today, I kind of want to talk about kind of writing your own story and kind of thriving under pressure. I got a guy here who, you know, I thought you kind of met those qualifications. So we got Howard Cross. He just finished up his freshman season at Notre Dame football. Howard was a pretty big recruit coming out of high school. A lot of offers, a lot of great schools. Decided on Notre Dame, and he's also the son of a former NFL player. His dad, Howard Cross, played for the Giants. Howard, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Not bad. So let's get right into questions. So Howard, you kind of broke through in high school your sophomore year in terms of athletics. You got a lot of playing time sophomore year. You made a lot of big plays on the varsity level. So what was that like, kind of maturing as a sophomore? On the varsity level at a school like Joe's, and like what older guys were kind of there to help you out?
I mean, it was different. Not that different. I mean, even in college, like, it still wasn't really settled in. It just seems like I'm just playing like normal. But people that helped me, I think the biggest one was Yves Montesol, if you remember him.
Yeah,
Back, yeah, he kind of took me under his wing, kind of helped me out with everything because I messed up a lot of the plays when I moved up to varsity, but he was there to help me out and help me learn all of them. So
right. Awesome. So he was a senior when you were a sophomore, right?
yes.
And then he wanted to play college football too. So yeah, I mean yeah, like I didn't know him personally, but I could see him being a pretty good role model for you. So the coach Augie Hoffman, now he's not at Joe's anymore. He's moved on to Rutgers. But what was it like playing under Augie? He has a lot of knowledge. He was in the NFL for a little bit with the Saints, and he was a pretty good player at Boston College. So what was it like playing for him, and what about him? Like, what did he bring to the table that made the whole program so successful?
I mean, like, I guess because it sounds silly when you say it out loud, but I mean, if you explain it, he was like a really like human coach. I guess like you could say that. I mean, what I mean by that is like unlike the other coaches where like you lose or something like that, or if you win, like it's not the coaches don't really react. Like he would react like how we did. Like if we like lost, like say like we lost to Bergen, like he would be heartbroken, and like we
Right,
would do that too. Or like if we won, like he would be just as excited as us. Like we
right,
could like relate to him in that way. So I guess like in that way, like we kind of felt like we almost like needed to play for we needed to play for him,
yeah,
and it's like meant a lot to us to win like for him basically.
right. And I think that helps too because he went to Joe's and he had those big games against Bergen. So like he was in like the same situation you guys were in. So I think that's why he felt so heartbroken when you guys lost, and then when you guys won, he was so pumped up. So so during your whole recruiting process, you had a lot of schools talk to you. So what was it about Notre Dame that kind of that like stood out to you over the other schools? And then was there any pressure to kind of go to Alabama where your dad went to school?
No, not really, because I wasn't big enough to get recruited out by Alabama, but I still like a bunch of other schools that were knocking on my door. But my main thing was trying to get an academic and a great football school.
Yeah,
So not that every school isn't, but like just like real like top of the line, like Stanford and Notre Dame. And they both didn't recruit me until like the end of my process. Like Stanford called me like even after I committed to Notre Dame, but I was gonna commit to Virginia Tech, and like a couple days before I was gonna call and like commit. Um, Notre Dame called me and asked me if I wanted a scholarship, and I said yeah. So I went to go visit, and I loved it. So that's where I am.
what was it about though about Notre Dame that kind of like, so like you kind of had your mind set on VT. So like once you went to Notre Dame, like what was like the one thing or the two or three things that like kind of made the difference for you?
I mean, well, first and foremost, I know like they like don't do it when you like get there and stuff, but like same thing like when I was choosing high schools, like it's just like the feeling being wanted.
Right.
Like they almost like need you.
Yep.
Like I went to Virginia Tech, like they cleared everything out for me. Like they made sure I knew I was their top priority. Same thing with Notre Dame. Like they like gave me like a separate like tour than everybody else. They made it very clear that I was a very big priority for them, and I loved it. I really liked it. I took a tour on campus. I hung out with the players. Like it really felt like it was a small college. I mean, I was kind of used to the whole small thing with high
Yep.
school. I kind of felt like it was home. I mean, same thing with high school. Like I went to Bergen. That's right, knock on Bergen. I went to Bergen, and they weren't really excited for me to come there. Like, all right. And I went to Joe's. Like, dude, you need to come here. So
Right.
yeah.
Gotcha. So then you played your freshman season now. I saw that you got like a little bit of time, but what was some of the lessons that you took away from your first season in college football that kind of like separates high school from college and like just making that transition?
Well, even if it doesn't feel like it is very different. It's high stakes. Like the whole like country or world depends who you're watching, but like literally every single person's watching. I mean, and also like we're like a really big school, so we're on college game day, which even like more people are tuned into all the time.
Right.
So, I mean, even that's like settled in, but it like it's a lot higher stakes. Like you can't mess up, and just like yeah, it's just a lot higher stakes. And it's still like it doesn't really hasn't really settled in, but that's what it is. And I would like to say that it's like made me more alert and like paranoid, but really hasn't. It's just like playing like a regular game in high
Right.
school. Just
Right.
make sure you know your plays, know what you're doing, and just do what you do best. And that's what I try and do.
Yeah. And like a lot of guys say, and this kind of goes for all sports, but like the game kind of speeds up a notch, right? Like once you move up to that next level. So like I'm sure like the offensive linemen that you're going against, you know what I mean, like they got faster feet and like they're stronger, because like you might be going up against a junior, you know what I mean, like when you're matched up on the line. So like, is that kind of what you saw? Like game kind of got a little faster.
Actually, no, honestly, because I know it might seem like different, but in high school they're kind of the same exact size as college and same weight and everything. I mean, like yeah,
Oh,
there are people that are like NFL. I mean, it's a little different from playing with uh, top college recruits to top NFL prospects. I
right.
mean, it shows. It does show. But I mean, with me, like it's still like once in a while, like I'll get one in on them, and it's just like cool to like be able to do that. But like yeah, you notice it's not like blatantly obvious. Like if you like compare them, but like it's like the small things. Like they know how to like move a little faster. Like they know where to put their hands and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like yeah, just looking at it, you can't really tell. But it's the small things that make the difference. You could tell.
Right. Okay. So last question. So you grew up, your dad kind of built his own legacy with the Giants, and a lot of people around this area know who your dad is. So, was there any pressure to kind of live up to those standards, like when you were in high school, you know what I mean, and now in college, to kind of live up to those standards that your dad kind of set, and then how like have you been able to kind of like separate yourself in a way and kind of say like, no, like my dad's my dad. And like I'm me, you know what I mean? He went to Alabama, I'm at Notre Dame, you know what I mean? Like this is my story. So like how have you been able to do that?
Yeah, yeah. Like, just like you said, I mean, the main goal wasn't to like follow in his footsteps. It was kind of the opposite. I mean, honestly, when I was a kid, he didn't like playing football. He wanted me to do what I wanted to do. So there was never really pressure. But
Right.
I mean, I mean, there's no pressure to be him, but I'm trying to be better than him in a way.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of yeah. So I'm taking my own path. Like I don't like it when like you're how like I want people to say like oh it's like Howard Cross third instead of saying oh it's Howard Cross's son. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to like make like my own thing. So
Definitely. And like I think and like even if you were in a situation where like Alabama was kind of recruiting you, like the fact that you kind of like took your own road, you know what I mean? Be like this is the school that, best suits me because like you said, like they wanted me or the campus was great, the guys were great. So I think that was kind of like an important step too, because like I think a lot of people were kind of like waiting on that Bama offer and then waiting for you to commit there.
yeah.
So that's great, dude. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're succeeding over at ND. I wish you nothing but the best. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
See you, man.
Signing off.